This is Kent Getson with another quick cooking tip from Cheffyk and CA.
Visit our Facebook page to learn more about our upcoming culinary tour to Bucerias, Mexico, which is just north of Puerto Vallarta. You can find us at facebook.com/Cheffyk and CA.
Hey, this is Cheffyk with another quick tip for you. Today we're going to teach you how to peel and slice a melon. Now, this will work for any kind of melon, like a honeydew, or this is a cantaloupe, of course, and it can even work for pineapples or watermelons. But I'm going to show you the basic concept, and this is not like a really beginner thing. This is a little bit more, you got to have some practice with this one. Okay, so what we're going to do is slice off the ends of the melon. But we just want enough just to make a nice flat spot and to just get down to the orange flesh, okay? We don't want to take off too much and waste the melon. So we got both ends cut off, and you see how much we've got wasted. So we'll get rid of those. And then we're going to tip it up like this. And now we have a nice flat spot so it doesn't roll around. And you can see the orange and the green and the line that it creates right here. And that's going to be important as we're doing this slicing. So what you want to do is take off about 1 inch wide in general, but the first cut's going to be maybe about 2 or 3 inches wide. Okay, you'll see what I mean here. So we're just cutting in. We started our knife cut behind the green line. Okay, so there's only orange flesh now, and we're just going to cut down the melon. And the tricky part is getting it to go around all the way down like this, so it's just the rotation of the knife down. Okay, and then we slide that piece away, and you can see what we have right here is the green against the orange. Okay, what we want to do is we want to cut every time behind the green. So if you slice behind the green and you only take off about 1 inch or so of the rindy flesh, you'll be able to do this. So just keep drawing a line just behind the green line. And you only want to take off about 1 inch of this flesh. Okay? If you take off more than 1 inch of that flesh, you end up with a lot of waste, where you cut away a lot of great fruit. And we don't want to do that. So we want as high yield as possible. So you just go slow, and the knife works best when it's moving this way. Pushing the knife straight down doesn't work very well. See, I can press the knife against my hand like this, and it doesn't cut me. But if I were to pull the knife across my hand, of course I'd be cut. The same thing applies when you're using a knife to cut vegetables or meats. You want to slice with the knife. So you're just slicing down. You just keep looking down here and following your line. You can see the line right there. You're just following the line, nice and easy. The first couple times you do this, I promise you're going to be frustrated. But after a few tries, you're going to get it down. It just takes a little bit of practice. And when you're all done, if you do it really nicely, you'll have a beautifully, perfectly peeled melon with no green on it. And even if you get a little bit of green, it doesn't matter. You can always clean it up. But I'm just saying, that's kind of be your goal, is to get a perfectly clean melon with no green. Okay? And you'll see what I mean now. We'll see how I did anyway. Let's see. Let's flip it over, because this is the place where you'd find green. Oh, look at that. One little spot of green. So that's good. You can just nip that off like that. Okay, so now we're going to split the melon in half right through the poles. So consider this to be the equator and this to be the North Pole and the South Pole, just like the onion video. And then you pull it open, you got yourself 2 half melons. Then, this is kind of a picky point, but what we want to do is take the seeds out without, a lot of people gouge into the flesh, and there's no reason to do that. A good place to start is down here at the end where it connected to the plant. This is where the stem would have attached to the plant. Because the hardest part is right here. When I say hardest, I just mean the most dense piece of flesh right there. So cut through that right there, and then you just start pulling the seeds away from the inside of the melon instead of digging down, because the seeds will just come out of there in almost one little package, like so. And then you have nice clean melon. You just get in there with your spoon and get the last few seeds, like so. And you have a beautiful clean melon. Like that. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to slice the melon. There's a couple different approaches. Well, let's do the other half first, okay? Really quick, clean it out so we can slice with both. And then you're just pulling the seed kind of packet. It's almost like a little packet away from the inside of the melon instead of digging into the flesh. Okay. And then we have a nice clean melon. No waste. Okay, so now here's how we slice it. So you can slice it lots of different ways. This is called a radial slice. When you slice, look at it from the end this way. When you slice like this and you keep tipping your knife up a few more degrees each time, you end up with identical slices all the way through. So I'll show you that one. That was kind of nice for certain things. So if you slice like this and you just keep slightly turning your knife up and rotating it around, you end up with all of these slices that you could lay side by side and they look identical. Just like that. Okay? Now another method, if you want to do a really pretty tray with it and have it fan out onto the tray, you slice the melon like so. You put it down so that the poles are left and right, and this is the equator if the melon is standing up like normal, like this. Sorry, like that. And then you slice across like this. And you slice maybe, a quarter of an inch or so. You can go thicker, a little thinner. Thinner's, you get too thin and then it's just not a very easy piece of fruit to pick up. So you just want to do nice even slices all the way across. And then when you get to the end, you can decide what to do with this piece. I personally like to set these two pieces aside and snack on them, make sure they're still good. And then I'm going to grab a plate real quick and I'll show you. So now what you can do is you can take this melon and pick it up. And so that's the sliced melon. And it's easy to pick up like this. You can stick your knife under it to pick it up or whatever you like, or a spatula. And then you can just set it down and you just pull on it like so. And you can lay it down and you end up with a beautiful fan of melon. So now if you can imagine you had a row of cantaloupe or a pineapple the same way, or a row of honeydew, and a pile of grapes and a couple of strawberries, you'd have a beautiful fruit tray in a few minutes. There you go, that's the quick tip for today. Have a good one.